Ipo Mambo.
CCLTV, votre cœur désire la victoire. Ne laissez pas le jeu vous jouer. Gardez le contrôle. Pariez responsable. CCLTV, votre cœur désire la victoire.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, different kinds of followers and fans of CCL TV. I thank you so much for watching, and I am so excited to be over here. What a beautiful day it is. I am so glad to share this atmosphere with thousands of followers and fans of CCL TV. You there watching us all the time. I thank you so much. For all that you don't know me, I'm Mr. Jonathan Bondo, the showman of this broadcast entitled Lorry Book. As you can see, I am not alone today. I am with Mr. Daniel Osembe, my regular guest. Hello, Mr. Daniel.
Hi, Mr. Bondo. Hi, dear followers.
How are you feeling today?
Great, by God's grace. What about you?
Good. Let's overslot what has been said previously. Mr. Daniel and I, we've been speaking about gambling in Indonesia. And we shed a line on several things by telling people that gambling in Indonesia got a big problem because the government had decided to shut down all activity concerning government due to the law that they have established over there. Concerning 80% of people in Indonesia are Muslim. So no way for them to value and also to get involved in gambling. But you have to understand something, dear followers and fans of CCL TV, those who are watching us every single time, that in Indonesia, there are some group of people, they decide to wager their money. They decide to bet online because they need something that's going to happen in their life, especially to gain jackpot. And then they are wagering their money every single time in illegal online platform. And the statistics say that, that amount of money people are wagering that help them to increase also the budget over there. Even though 80% of population are Muslim, but Indonesian people, they decided to wager their money every single time because they want to gain jackpot. But today the case is so different because we're going to focus on gambling in China. And Mr. Daniel, as usual, faithful friend, faithful man, our lorry analyst, is go deep to help us more about gambling in China. Mr. Daniel,
Yes, Mr.
may you
Bondo.
give us the overall idea of gambling in China?
Thank you very much, Mr. Bondo, for the floor.
You're welcome.
As you said, today's lottery book, we're going to go into China gambling industry. First thing first, we have to go back to the beginning of everything in ancient China, where it was found by lots of gambling analysts that since long, around 2300 before Jesus Christ,
2003 before Jesus Christ.
the first real evidence of gambling in China was found around that time in that part of Asia. And we have also mentioned it in previous show that the Great Wall of China was built due to projects that
we talked about recently.
yes, that Chinese people launched with different dynasties to raise money to carry out that huge project in China. So with games like Keno, Mahjong, those games took part in lots of projects and helped the government gather money for what they wanted to do. Later on, around 1949, when China became a sovereign state, when communism started in China, the law of China banned all different forms of gambling.
What was the reason that government decided to ban all? What was the reason?
Because the communist regime considered gambling as one of the vices that destroy society.
Okay.
That's why it was banned, and lots of games, any kind of gambling games, couldn't take place in China.
Good. You've said something so great in the beginning by telling the followers who are watching us that in China, that lottery and gambling help, the economic growth of China, to build a lot of things. But what did it change? What did them change again? The thing.
So according to their culture, that is the way it has been for long, okay? But when the government, the ideology changed over time with communism, everything started in a new way. Okay. That's why it has been banned that way. The government has set up a blanket prohibition on all different forms of gambling in the country. But nowadays, in practice, Chinese people, they gamble, and they do it through the state-owned lotteries.
Okay.
And they often go abroad in Las Vegas and other places where they are in the center of gambling, and they go over those places and participate in different games.
So
they can use online platforms as well.
But going over there, don't you think that they are not valuing their own, country? You can bet, for example, we here in DRC. I have to bet here in DRC and also value what is inside of my country. Going abroad, don't you think that's it's a good idea?
For those who go abroad, it's a way for them, if they're keen on gambling, they can gamble. Okay. For those who stay inside China, they have the state-owned lottery to help them enjoy and have nice times.
Good. Thanks a lot, Mr. Daniel, for this explanation. I do believe the followers who are following us right now have understood the general idea of gambling in China, but we still keeping on. Mr. Daniel, is online gambling lawful in China?
Online gambling in China is not lawful because it comes into the scope of games that are not allowed in the country. But statistics estimate the value of online gambling market in China around $145 billion.
$145 billion.
That is the amount of
wow,
it.
a huge amount.
Yes, yearly. That is what
yearly.
That is what the market generates in a year. You see, although the government has set up restrictions, okay, prohibitions on it, but people are keen to know what gambling feels like. Wow. And they use different platforms. They use the national lottery to bet, because in the national lottery in China, it has got two types. Okay. The first type is the welfare lottery. Good. That is the type of lottery that we have in our country here. Okay, it is the type of lottery that we all know, like the one we have on the background. Okay, so those kinds of games using balls, numbers, okay, matching numbers. That is the welfare lottery. So it is a booming market in China. It is generating lots of money for the government. It's so huge. Okay, so the money that it produced, okay, is allocated to projects related to social issues in different communities. You see how clever they are. So they're using the lottery to finance projects and fund those kind of things.
So, but why not the government deal with operators, online, platform, deal with them and work together so they can also increase? Don't you think that I discovered something so important when you've been saying then concerning the evolution of gambling in China? Even though the government didn't allow them, but people are wagering money, people are betting, but that also increased. Why not the government deal with them?
There is no way to deal with them as long as their legislation, okay, within the country doesn't allow them because of communism, okay? So we know how hard it is to deal with communists, okay? So the regime is now willing to deal with online platforms inside the country. So on the other hand, as I was saying, talking about lottery, okay, there is the welfare lottery and the sports lottery. That's another type of lottery, okay? We can call it, like we often say here, sports betting.
Okay, sports betting.
That's a kind of sports betting, and it's organized by the government to fund projects related to sports in general within China. So that is another aspect of things.
Thanks, dear followers. I do believe you are watching us carefully and you're going to understand several things because Mr. Daniel, our lottery analyst, is here every single day, every single time to shed a light on gambling in different ways. So, Mr. Daniel, how many brick and mortar casino that Chinese people for choose the most to wager money?
Good points. By the way, we have to mention that in China, there are two regions that have another kind of administration and different laws from mainland China. Okay, so we have mainland China and administrative regions, okay, such as Hong Kong and Macau.
Macau, we talked about that recently.
Yeah, we talked about it. Okay, in that part, like Macau, the gambling industry is based on casino games. Okay. It has even become a gambling hub around the world. Wow. It attracts lots of tourists within China. Okay, and it helps people know much about the gambling sector, and it is one of the greatest source of income.
One of the great
source of income of that part of China. Okay, because within we're going to see it. There is the world's largest casino in the world. So we can, as your question was, one of the brick and mortars casinos in there. We have the Venetian. Okay, it is one of the greatest land-based casino in China, located in Macau. And it's wonderful. It's so perfect, incredibly famous around the world.
And people also wager money without any issue.
There is no issue at all.
Wow. Good. So you have understood that, once you have a chance to travel, you go in China, you're going to wager your money in casino, and the popular one, Venice. You're going to Venetian, you're going to wager your money and also gain jackpot. It's so important. Mr. Daniel, are online casino gambling regulated in China? Because we talked about the most popular, Venice. What about online? Is regulated over there?
Okay, good points once more. Yeah. Online casinos, let's say in general, online platforms are closely followed by the government. Okay. The government monitors every single activity happening in that sector. Okay. By the way, there was a report of Bloomberg that said that Guangdong, okay, the name is Guangdong Club Online. Okay. It is a platform of Chinese people offering casino games, but it's registered itself in Costa Rica. But that platform is making huge amount of money coming from China. It is estimated around $10,500
10,000 and 5,000
just
dollars.
when it is streaming a 30 seconds video of Baccarat game. It's a game in casino games. Okay, when they are streaming it, the amount of money being gambled on that game.
And people are excited.
So it means that it is really gaining ground. Okay,
Yeah.
it has lots of traction around it, and the governments got aware of it, and from that it's gave them the ability, okay, and the eagerness to block other platforms that people use illicitly in that way.
All right. So you have understood our lorry analyst the way he is explaining people, you can't miss it. You have to learn and to know more about it. Maybe the day coming, you want to be a lorry analyst, you're going to learn a lot of things from Mr. Daniel Osembe. So where can new gamble in China? We want to travel and go over there, but where can we gamble?
I think gambling in China, as we're saying so far, it is lawful in China to gamble when you are using the state-owned lotteries, okay, for the welfare lottery and the China sports lottery, okay. It is lawful, so you can bet wherever you are in China using those ways out, okay.
Platforms.
Yeah, those platforms settled by the government, okay. But in cities like Hong Kong, okay, it is, according to the law, illicit, okay, illegal to gamble or bet in other platforms apart from what the government is a certain place.
Because they got interest of that.
Of course, that's why although there is a blanket prohibition of most of games, but the government has monitored everything in that sector to make sure that people can't gamble in a bad way. Because nowadays in China, there are lots of illicit gambling establishments across China, in Shanghai, lots of places where people gamble but in a bad way, okay, without having the proper documents, the proper license.
So is it bad when you are wagering your money in illegal platform?
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad because you're running the risk, okay, of being arrested by police. But it's another thing in the internet, because the internet is difficult to police. Okay, the government is finding difficulties to police on the internet, because on the internet there are different ways to avoid being trapped, okay, being caught on by the government, okay. It's different. But when you going somewhere and the police comes where you, on the very spot you're going to get arrested.
So what advice you can give to those who are wagering money in illegal platforms, especially in China?
So they have to be careful.
They have to be careful.
They have to be careful.
But they need
They're
money.
running the risk of
They
being...
need money.
They can use online platforms, okay? They can use those platforms online to help them take part in different games. And in Hong Kong, if you want to bet, you have to use platforms owned by the government and they're monitored by the Hong Kong Jockey Club.
So such as the name, we want to know the name?
Hong Kong Jockey Club, it is the main regulator in Hong Kong, and it owns different places and establishments where people can freely bet, apart from Macau, as we talked about.
Good. So, Mr. Daniel, what were the advantages of establishing land-based casinos in China?
I think it has helped the country move forward, especially the part of Macau. Okay, because Macau was a former colony of Portuguese people, and when it has been, it was given back to the mainland China, gambling has stayed legal in Macau, except online gambling. Okay, it's not illegal, but in general, casino games are taking place, and it's making huge profits for the economic growth of Macau, that's part of China. And lots of Chinese citizens from all over China go there, and they have nice time spending money on different games, wagering and striking the luck and getting the jackpot.
Good. Says Mr. Daniel, striking the luck and also gaining the jackpot. Mr. Daniel, how do Chinese national fit into these laws given by government? How Chinese people or national fit into these laws?
In practice, I think they manage to get along with it in a good way, okay? Because with online platforms accessible to most of them, so there is nothing to worry about them, because they know how to use gambling in a profitable way, using different kind of payment methods to help them get the money online, and they can also travel, go to Macau, okay, take profits of the opportunity, free access to go to casinos, okay. So it is really profitable for them. So it has lots of advantages.
A lot of advantages.
Yes.
Okay. Says Mr. Daniel Osembe, it is a lot of advantages. Mr. Daniel, how do you see the future of gambling in China so far?
Okay. I think the future of gambling in China is brilliant.
Okay.
Unlike Indonesia, we talked about.
Yeah, all is, shut down.
Everything is shut down. But in China, I think they still got hope that they can gamble freely, use different ways, because as we mentioned, that the online markets in China is so profitable. It's making huge amounts of money. Okay. It's because that the fact that people know how to take advantage of it. Okay? So we see in the near future the markets going forward, growing and making people happy.
And the government also can change their mind the day coming to regulate every single thing concerning online gambling.
I don't think they will, because of the regime in place, okay? Wow. But people can resort to what they're doing so far, okay? Because so far they find a way out to go over what the government has set in place, okay? By using different methods of payments, blockchain, cryptocurrencies.
Oh, blockchain.
Yeah, using cryptocurrencies. And
so you have to have a lot of knowledge when you're in blockchain, because it's not given to everybody.
Yes, indeed. You must master it before you get engaged in it.
Good. Says Mr. Daniel Osembe, you must master it before you get engaged in it. That's the background on. I can't end up without expressing my deep gratitude to thousands of people and followers who are watching us all over the world, all the time, seeing us, see the way things are going well, sitting on a chair and see the evolution of CCL TV. We thank you so much. My special greeting to all technical members, background, designer, Mr. Pere Empro, Mr. Gillian Beyoko, our producer, Miss Beniel Basele, Miss Jennifer, all friends and brothers who are watching us over here, without forgetting all the time, Taya Korea, the correction is your patient. Uskon, see you then. God bless you.
Bye.
CCL TV, your heart desires victory. Bye.
See you.